Alright everybody, I'm going to start figuring out how to mount the chassis in here. This cabinet comes without holes to mount it. And if you look at the chassis here, you'll see that there's some slotted holes on either side. Okay? And the open side of the chassis, in other words, the wire side, goes right behind this piece of wood. So to make this a little bit easier, I measured that chassis right there, and it's exactly 20 inches from end to end. And I measured it here, and I've got the height, and I've measured the holes, right there, that's the hole. And I've measured that, and I've measured that, and I put them in exactly the right place, and then I did some calculations. So the opening that goes from here to here is exactly 17.5 inches. So if I take the 20 inches that the chassis is, and I subtract the 17.5 inches, that gives me 2.5 inches. And if I divide that by half, I get 1 1/4, which means that my hole has to be in 1 1/4, right here and right here. So all I did was take this template and mark the lines right here and right there. That's the 1 1/4 in. Place it on top and just use an ice pick to make some holes here. And that's what I did here, and that's what I did here. So all I really need to do now is just drill right through, and then I can mount this this chassis in the cabinet. So I'm going to drill those holes now and get this thing mounted. So let me go do that. Okay, I've got the holes drilled right here and right here, and I've removed this back cover, which is obviously going to cover the chassis, so it's safe. One thing I noticed is that this cover doesn't have any foil, and I'm going to have to look and see where the tubes hang. I may need to put some foil on the back of this thing just to keep it from burning. I believe that the original amps did have a piece of foil there. I have some stick foil that is used for air conditioning. I think that's plenty, and I'll probably end up mounting that on the back of this piece of wood. So let me get the chassis mounted, just dry fit, and we'll see where we go from there. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the chassis in here mounted loosely. I have to tighten these bolts here, but you'll see there's a bolt that goes down, and then there's a little nut right there that has to get tightened. That's it. That's all that holds it in. So let me tighten that down, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so the chassis is now mounted securely. All right, you can see it right there. Looks sweet. Got the knobs on there, and all that's really left to do now is mount this panel like this. I don't have my speakers connected yet, so I'm going to have to remove that later. And then I'm going to, next thing I'm going to do is get some contact glue and glue this on the inside. I decided to go with this old soybean one, soy sauce. It doesn't smell anymore. So I'm going to glue this one. I'm going to put it right there crooked like the rest of them usually are. So that's going to go right about there. So I'm going to glue that in. And then other things I have left to do, this wire, this power cord has to get mounted to the wall. There's a clip that goes here to hold it down like that. And then kind of do some more tests. I did get another pair of 5881 tubes. These are those JJ tubes, and although they sound okay, the tongue sole tubes are the best ones for these kinds of amps. They just have a warmer output. So I got a pair of those for this. It'll be a little bit better, and I'll save these as a spare in case I need them. And then we're going to put this thing to some tests and see how it sounds. So until then, I have to create the wires for the speakers and make sure I get those connected. And again, they go right to these RCA jacks that you can see right under here. That's where the speakers go. So they're just going to kind of lay down and then route very neatly with some tie wraps under here. But we're in the home stretch here with this thing. This thing is just about ready. I'm going to mount that label, and then we'll wrap it up. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got that label mounted in there, crooked, right? That's good, and that's not going anywhere. That's gonna stick real nice. So we've got that. That's all done. And now we just have to wait for the speaker wires to get created, and I have to do that. And that will be in the wrap-up video. So that's all I'm going to show you for today. I think we've got enough here. I am going to get the foil and put that on the back of this, and I'll do that now, but I won't do that on camera. Alright? So, hey Ella. Bella. Hey Bentley. Say hi, Bentley. Oh, there's the other one. All right. That's it for now. This is Ron. One last thing for those of you that may be building an amp for the first time. Never, ever, ever power up an amp without speakers connected. You'll blow out your circuits. All right? So always have a speaker connected or a dummy load resistor. It's the only way you can turn these things on. Now some of the newer amps have diodes in the speaker path, so you can't do that, but don't turn these things on with no speakers. So I will not be turning this on until the speakers are connected. That's it. This is Ron. I am going to show you what I do with the heat shield here. So you'll see when the cover's on, the top of the tubes really is not an issue. There's not going to be any heat up here, but there is going to be some heat down below. So I am going to put a strip of the foil on this part on the inside. These tubes are going to have tube shields on them, so I'm not too worried about those. But I'm definitely going to put a piece here. Let me show you what I'm going to use. Put this down for a second. And I'm going to use this foil tape. This is really used for air conditioning, HVAC systems, used to connect ductwork and things, but it's a nice foil tape. You just peel the back off and it sticks on there forever. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mount the piece right on this part right here. This way there's no issue with this drying out and coming off, and from all the heat, it'll reflect the heat back. All right, I'll go do that right back. All right, tape's mounted. We're good. All right. Just on that bottom piece, and then when this gets mounted here, it'll protect it against those tubes. Okay, that's really it. I'm wrapping this one up. I'll be back with the final wrap up of this project on the next version. This is Ron. Have a good night.